under the pale moonlight. Vinny and Phil bring the shadows to life. Tales of the ghostly whispers in the night. Bigfoot and aliens ready for the strife. The darkness thickens, the air is cold. Haunting stories waiting to unfold. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. EVPs echo through the haunted trees. Demons lurk as the chill hits with ease. But the caps rolling with guests to amaze. Cryptids and spirits were lost in the haze. Northmen in the foliage, watch your back. Dogmen prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. Moving in the foliage, watch your back. Dark prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. So tune in next week, fear in your soul. Darkness awaits, let the stories unfold.
Welcome to this week's episode of Supernatural Sundays, January 18th edition. Hope y'all are having a nice new year this year. We're dealing with a little cold weather here in Kentucky, January. Got a holiday weekend this weekend, Martin Luther King Day. Everybody gets off tomorrow for Martin Luther King Day, celebrate Dr. King, everything he did for civil rights. And I wish I had some Martin Luther King ghost stories, but if anybody has any, please call in. Got a few new friends tonight over here. We got a new lady over here, and then we got our little matching. I think they're like Scottish. They got their plaid on and everything. A little early for St. Patty's Day, don't you think? And then we've got our new little friend here. I'm going to add another cat ball. So these cat balls, we use these for paranormal investigating. Basically, a cat bats them around. They're activated by motion and they light up, blink, change colors. But we use them for paranormal investigating. That way, if something, well, hello there. If something touches one, then it's supposed to go off. If they're not moving, basically it goes off and there's nothing moving, then we think it's something paranormal. So it's kind of interesting. How you doing there, little feller? That'd be cool if you could make that go off again. Do you guys come as a set, or one of you guys got a little friendliness going on? I got you as a set. I'm not going to break up the pair. But and then we got our other little dolly over here on the left. She seems pretty happy to be here. Anyway, we'll leave them on. Every week I put some new dolls, clowns, whatever out here every week. We'll put some equipment on them, see if anything happens. I will tell you this, the little pair there in the plaid, I've had 2 different cat balls go off so far. It could be a coincidence. Maybe I banged into something, but we'll keep an eye on them. Guys, feel free to hit those balls there. Let us know if you're doing okay, if you're happy, or you got anything you want to say, let us know. Just speak right into that microphone if you want to say something. All right, well, let's get on with the... Well, hey there, buddy. You got anything you want to say? Want to say hello? Pretty cool. All right, we're gonna get on with the supernatural news this week. Here we go. Okay. We've got some paranormal this week. We've got some aliens. We got some cryptids. We got a little bit of everything. We might even have some haunted dolls this week. I don't know. First time I've had any kind of action on these characters. So we'll see what happens. The dog's coming in here. Hey, what are you doing there, buddy? Do you checking out these dolls? Do you smell anything? You see anything? No? They're friendly? You're just wagging your tail? Everybody's friendly? Okay. The dog's right here. I don't have a camera. My camera won't shine down here. Come on up here. Come up here. No. All right. Let's get on with the news. We got first one here is this one's a ghost caught on a security cam. See what you guys think of this.
अच्छा चुड़ैल की एक और वीडियो आई है। रात को स्कूल के बाहर एक आदमी सिक्योरिटी कर रहा था तो एकदम चुड़ैल आई है तो कुत्ते को फील हो गया है। कुत्ते को पता चल गया कि ये चुड़ैल है, क्योंकि जानवरों को पता चल जाता है, लेकिन उसको फील हुआ है सिक्योरिटी वाले को।
I'll roll that back again.
अच्छा चुड़ैल की एक और वीडियो आई है। रात को स्कूल के बाहर एक आदमी सिक्योरिटी कर रहा था तो एकदम चुड़ैल आई है तो कुत्ते को फील हो गया है। कुत्ते को पता चल गया कि ये चुड़ैल है, क्योंकि जानवरों को पता चल जाता है, लेकिन उसको फील हुआ है सिक्योरिटी वाले को।
Does anybody know what language that fella was speaking? I think that one looked pretty legit. The dog was even looking at it. Like the dog saw it too. So that one looked pretty legit. I'd say that could be a legit capture right there on that home security video. Let's see here. So this is, I don't know how new this device is. It's just, I'd never seen one before, but that don't mean anything. It works and looks a little bit kind of like a Ouija board, but it's more of a sensory type device, like a touch, basically a touch, kind of like a REM pod where your electromagnetic energy, something gets near it and it'll set it off. And that's how this board works. It's kind of like a REM pod Ouija board kind of thing, I guess is what I would. They call it the illuminating talking board because the lights illuminate. So I don't know. See what you think of this thing. It's kind of cool.
I'm going to showcase this device. This is a illuminating talking board, and you put your fingers around it. Spirits can manipulate it to spell letters for you. Here's no. Here's yes. Here's male, right here. Goodbye. Hello. And then you got female over here. It's really neat. And this is a new addition here at the manor. People will be able to utilize this when they're investigating.
Well, that was pretty cool device. It seems like it works kind of like a Ouija board. Some people think most apps work that way too. That you're trying to talk to something and they think you're opening yourself up. But I don't know. We don't typically mess with Ouija boards. I've had different clergy and priests advise us against it. I don't know. We probably all played it when we were a kid or something, but we did get involved with a case where this young man had something, felt like it was walking around the house, following him around. And we went to the house and brought our team in. Actually had, we had a new lady on the team that night. She's kind of psychic, like a medium. But she kept saying, "Oh, there's too many people here. Whatever it is, it's next door." And so we went like next door in this old house and got pretty wild over there. But come to find out, when we talked to that young man, he had been messing around with the Ouija board, and I think he maybe have opened up something, and something followed him home. It is a real thing. Stuff following you home. I've talked to some people it's happened to. One lady, she's kind of a sensitive, I would say, where he has some abilities where she can see things, hear things, and she'd seen some small children running around, and she thought it was cool. She was like, "Cool." Then they just kind of left. I've had other people freak out and went back to the cemetery and the church. It was at a graveyard. They actually went back, left coins. They went back and left coins on the tombstone of the one little young man, because they were starting to see a little boy in their house, and they think the little boy followed them home. So they went back and left offerings and prayed, and it went away. I also know a friend of mine who he does demonology and what we call deliverance. Like if you've got something going on and you want to get it off of you or out of your house or whatever, and he at the end of the night, he would normally cleanse everyone. He would pray over everyone, kind of do a ceremony, and say, basically say, whatever this is, you can't come with me. You're not allowed to come with me. And he said it's one of his first mistakes he'd made in like 40 some years. He said he forgot to cleanse himself and didn't think nothing of it. Went home, took a shower, and laid down for bed. And that's when something grabbed him on the side of his head and started shoving him down, and in his own house, his own bedroom. And he ended up doing a ceremony right there, the whole deliverance ceremony on himself in his own bedroom. Luckily, it went away, but he took a break from the paranormal for a while. I'd say, I don't know how long of the break. I think it was around 10 years or so. He just said, "I'm done." He said, "This stuff's real. Something attacked me in my own house." He said, "I've had it." So just be careful out there. You get ready to leave somewhere. It seems silly, but you're talking to something you can't see. Just say, "Hey, you know what? Look, you're not allowed to come with me." This next one, the guy's talking about the Aztec death whistle. It's pretty interesting.
I want to talk a little bit about the Aztec death whistle. Little trinket I picked up last year during my paranormal investigating. And the way I understand it, hundreds of years ago, tribes in Central and South America would be waiting in the forest and an enemy would be approaching and they would start blowing this thing. And it would sound like shrieking ghosts, and the intention was to strike terror in the hearts of the enemy and hope that they just go away. Battle avoided altogether. Sounds like a win. So, like I said, last year I picked this up and I'm like a child with a brand new toy. I can't wait to play with it. I can't wait to use it. Can't wait to try it out. And my whole team gets together, and when no one's looking, right off the bat, I blow this thing. People jumped, people locked up, one person almost fell over, their knees started to buckle. It's every bit as terrifying as what I read. So that gave me the idea, hey, I'm going to blow this thing every hour on the hour and try to scare the pants off my teammates. So 10 o'clock at night rolls around, I blow it. 11 o'clock at night rolls around, I blow it. You know, I'm finding cool little crevices and cubbies to hide in and playing little tricks to get people to walk by, and then I blow it. Had fun with it all night. Probably wasn't very popular with my teammates, but hey, I got to have a lot of fun with this. Well, 3 o'clock in the morning rolls around and I'm starting to nod off. Hey, I have an hour and a half drive home. I gotta go. And not one piece of paranormal activity happened the entire night. Can't get a REM pod to go off. Can't get an EMF detector to detect anything. And I'm thinking, man, what a bust of a night, you know. You pay money, you travel, and then nothing happens. Well, then I started thinking about it. You know, I started reflecting about the night in general, and it started to, I started to formulate a theory. If this emulates the sound of death, and ghosts and spirits have already gone through their life cycle and experienced death, and I'm sure death is horrific, something you don't want to go through, but hey, we all have to at some point. Was this triggering some type of fear in the spirits on the other side to the point of it was reminding them that they are dying again? I don't know. Like I said, it's a theory of mine, and it's something I'm going to try to work with and develop in 2026, and I'll share my results to see what happens. But the moment everyone's been waiting for.
Cool. I just so happen to have one of those Aztec death whistles, and I've blown it on a few investigations. Usually I tell everybody first. I don't just freak people out, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Think we should fire one off? What do you guys think? Should we fire one off? All right, here we go. Aztec death whistle live. First time ever on Supernatural Sundays. Here we go. Oh mercy! We got cat balls going off. We got the dog in here. Everything. That's funny right there. Let's blow her again. All right, that's enough of that. Hilarious. What do you think there, Bo? The old hound. He come to investigate. He's like, that does not sound like the normal sounds coming from that room. I don't, either a death whistle will set off cat balls, or the vibration, or the noise, or maybe they really enjoyed the death whistle. I don't know. Hey, if you guys like that, can you light them balls off again? They're sitting on your lap there. You want to play with them toys again? That'd be really cool if you could do it. And the dog's wrapped around my headphones. Hey, buddy. Come on. Come on now. All right. He's trying to get over there and check the dolls out. You don't normally ever come in here like that. What do you want? Are them your friends? You want to go check them out? Go later. We got a show to do, buddy. They can't see you. Go up here? You go up here? Nope. All right. I'm gonna have to get a dog cam. All right. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Okay, we did the death whistle. This was some folks out in the woods, and this is something I've kind of been wanting to try too. I don't know if they're trying to find like Bigfoot Dog Man, and they think maybe he's, giving off some EMF because they think they're interdimensional, or they think they could be a spiritual being, or they're just out in the woods looking for spirits. Because, sometimes we do that in different locations. We'll be outside with our equipment. So here we go, out in equipment, running some K2 meters, which pick up the EMF. We've got one over here between the two dolls. And let's check it out.
EMF going high again. City Spirits here with us. I'm Ronnie.
I'm Connie.
And this is Christine. We're back again. Wanted to visit you. Can you let your presence be known?
Can you come close to my device? Speak into it? Or the camera?
Afraid.
Don't be afraid. It's okay. We come in peace. We're not here to harm anybody. We just want to communicate.
How many spirits?
Visitors.
Yes,
Visitors.
we have a visitor with
We are
us.
visitors.
And we have an extra visitor here today.
Yes, we brought my sister Christine.
Skeptical.
Skeptical. Christine.
Yes, Christine is skeptical. You can prove otherwise.
Yes, you can. Yeah, hold on, don't take off yet. We've got to do our prayer.
Ah,
Remember I said it was lighting up good.
Yes,
Keep lighting it up. Keep lighting it up.
can you light that to the orange? Can you
Keep
go
light-
real
yeah.
close? Yes.
Yeah, get super close to
It's
it.
super close.
Oh, gosh, that's so good. Look how bright that is. Wow.
What's your name?
Is this Richard?
Are you recording? Yes, we're recording. We're recording.
Richard, it's Richard.
Navy. Were you in the Navy? Thank you for your service. I was in the Air
Wow.
Force.
Thank you so much.
Emily.
Hello,
Hi, Emily. Impressive. Why,
Yes,
thank you.
very, very impressive.
You are impressive.
You got this communication is wonderful. Thank you so much. We want to help in any way we can. Wow. Thank you. How many spirits are with us right now?
Can you touch that box even closer or more where if you wrap your hand around it? Passageway.
Wait, is the portal
Passageway.
open right now?
It is open.
How many spirits are coming through the portal right now?
Is it more than 5? Oh.
Is it more than 10?
Whoa,
Is it more than 20?
there's a lot of spirits.
Is it more than 30? Is it more than 40? Is it more than 50?
You're talking,
Is it more than, okay, 50, 60, 60? I got orange.
is it hundreds? Do we have hundreds of spirits coming through? Embrace simplicity.
Is it more than 100? Is it more than 200? Is it more than 300? More than 400? More than 500? More than 500? Right at 500. Oh my gosh.
I got a few problems with that whole video. One, they're using some apps. I don't have a lot of faith in the apps. There's probably some people out there that like them. I don't have any faith in the Spirit Talker app. It says the same thing everywhere you go all the time. We mess around with little apps. That's one we will not use because it just says the same thing everywhere you go. The other problem I have is the K2 meter. There was another device laying right next to it. It could be picking up the EMF, and if they're standing that close to it with their cell phone when they're talking with the app running, if they don't have that phone in airplane mode, it's going to set off their equipment. Just bottom line, that's what it'll do. Like, okay, here's your average basic K2 meter, right? Here's my phone. If I get anywhere near that thing, see what it's doing? Put your phones in airplane mode, people. It's getting a signal all through the phone. It'll set it off. And now it's going to go back to normal. Sometimes your lights can set them off. You want to make sure anything with giving off any kind of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, anything like that. If you got an Apple Watch on, if a smartwatch, don't have it on while you're getting close to your equipment, you'll set it off. That kind of thing. So I don't really, other than the EVP, that was pretty cool. The rest of it, I don't know that they were actually picking up anything. That's my opinion based on experience with the equipment. All the stuff they had there could be setting it off. Like I said, I don't have a lot of faith in some of these apps. There's a sound, there's like a dictionary in there that's pulling words out of it. I'd probably have a little more faith in maybe a Spirit Box or a Staticom or Phantom Box, something like that, that's running through radio frequencies or white noise, something like that. But or one of my spinner jugs that's got a spinner and something moves it because it's sealed. Basically, one of these, there's a spinner inside of there. I'll move it, make it move. That thing's sealed. I got a crystal on there. A coil brings in their energy through the coil, and the crystal goes down through inside, and the energy will transmit down into that spinner if there's anything around. If it don't move, don't mean there's not anything there. Maybe something didn't want to mess with it, but if it does move, it's either some kind of spiritual energy or an earthquake, one of the two. I carried one of them around for almost 2 years before it finally went off. So, most investigations you go out on, not a lot happens. To me, that's pretty typical. So, don't get discouraged if you go out and you're trying to get evidence and looking for answers and you don't get any. That doesn't mean because you're not doing it right or your equipment isn't working or anything like that. Just means there's not a lot of stuff that didn't want to communicate at that time. Sometimes you have to be at the exact time, exact place at exact time for something to happen. So this kind of goes along with my little studies I've been doing here with these dolls. And these folks seem to have some stuff going on with these. And let's check out this one's a haunted doll. You guys gonna let her show you up like that? You guys gonna let us know you're hanging around or what? That doll was lighting off the cat ball. You can do it. You seen how she did it, right? You're watching, right? This next one's a haunted teddy bear. Looked like that teddy bear looked like he was had a little action going on there. You guys gonna let that teddy bear show you up like that? I guess so. Maybe they wanted me to blow the death whistle again. Okay, I had another video. Let's see. Seems to be missing. Okay, well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the time for some cryptid action here. Check this out. I think that AI stuff's getting out of hand, man. Tell you what, that thing looked pretty creepy though, pretty real. I was waiting for it to start chasing the truck, but this next one I'm going to call a polecat. Once you see it, you'll see why I'm calling it a polecat. First, I thought it was a cat up on a pole there, so that's why I was calling it a polecat. But it almost looked like it had a face on it. They might have put a guy up there with a mask on just to mess with people. Because it's like, why would it be on that pole? You know, and it's not looking at him either. It's just kind of looking off to the side there. So either it's a polecat or some guy up there in a costume. I know when you go down to Mexico, they have those maypoles, and it's like a ceremony. They get up on top of this pole, and they have like ropes, like kind of like a rope or like a sash, like a big piece of cloth. I don't know if you've seen them at the circus. The ladies slide up and down them and do, they'll hang from it and do different twirls and whatnot. But they'll get like 10 guys up there and the pole's spinning and they're all hanging out there. They hang by their neck and hang by their leg and their teeth. And it's death defying because they're way up there. I don't know if any of them's ever been hurt or killed, but it's pretty something to see if you've never been there and seen it or look it up. But that's the only thing I've ever been to where they had a guy on a pole up there doing anything. This one here comes out of the Northwest, and they're out in a snow-covered mountain, and they're thinking this could be some kind of a Squatch, Bigfoot. Yeah, because a human, they're saying by the based on the size and how fast it's running up through the snow, that a human couldn't move that fast through that deep snow. So, kind of a North American version of a Yeti, maybe. He's out running around the snow like Yeti. Here we go.
We were sent the following footage by a person that goes by John. It was filmed on one of the mountain peaks along the Wasatch Front mountain range. The guys that filmed it were down in the valley, 4,200 feet elevation, and zoomed in on a peak, 9,000 feet elevation. They did their best to film this creature running horizontal, then vertical up the steep, snow-swept mountainside using a spotting telescope and holding the lens of the camera up to the viewfinder. It was almost a mile higher than the guys filming it, around 5,200 feet higher. They had to zoom in over 3 miles at least to capture this creature that is easily and quickly traversing in around 90 inches of snow. I had to cut 2 F words out of the footage. The guys were amazed and excited, scoping in on this creature running on the steep, snow-covered mountain. I'll play another clip that's stabilized of this for you all. Then I'll play a zoomed-in version of the creature. First, I would like to show you Matthew Anderson yesterday hiking in the foothills east of Francis Peak at Hardscrabble Creek in 18 inches of snow. This guy is 6 feet tall. This is how a large man looks hiking in 18 inches of snow. Now compare it to this creature running in 90 inches of snowpack. Just amazing footage. Big difference. I hope you guys enjoy. Keep on watching. We're gonna keep on squatching. This is the clip one more time stabilized, and make sure you watch to the end, because I'll play the clip one more time and we'll zoom in on the subject so you can see it much better than this original version and the stabilized version. This is just amazing footage.
There's something wandering across the face of that. There's something wandering across the face of that.
Hey, that thing, I couldn't tell what it was, but it was sure moving fast. Kind of hard to believe in that deep of snow that, something would be moving like that. That's quite the capture. Who knows what that thing is? I'm trying to think any kind of animal, like a mountain goat wouldn't be, wouldn't do that. And, I don't know of any muskox that go up that high, or I don't think they'd be moving like that either. It's pretty wild. This one here, this one's pretty creepy. This guy's got some kind of weird thing going on his roof.
January 14th, 2026, Sparks, Nevada.
Well, that was pretty wild. Let's roll that back again. That's pretty crazy.
January 14th, 2026, Sparks, Nevada.
Well, if that was a goose or something, he might have had something on his roof, man. Almost looked like a goose or something. But anyway, these guys are down in Mexico and they run into this other thing. It's some kind of weird sea creature. So we'll see. Check this thing out. It's pretty weird looking.
A group of men were enjoying a leisurely afternoon by the shores of Mexico when they suddenly noticed a strange creature in the water. The creature was partially submerged and its body was partly visible on the surface of the water. Upon closer inspection, the men noticed that the creature had a unique appearance which made it stand out from any other creature they'd seen before. The creature had a smooth body and it was around 2 feet long. Its head resembled that of a seal with a pointed snout and large black eyes. The body, however, was much flatter than that of a seal and it had a distinct pattern of black on its back. The men were unsure what type of creature they had encountered and they debated among themselves. Some of them believed it could be a sea turtle, while others were convinced that it was a leopard seal. They continued to watch the creature as it made its way through the water, trying to catch a glimpse of any other distinguishing features. What do you think this creature could be?
I think that's a seal that ate too many fish and he was kind of bloated and he was just kind of floating along there trying to swim along and work that off. That's what I think it was, a seal. I had no doubt in my mind that's what it is. But, could be something different. But from what I can tell, it looked like a seal to me. Here's back at my home state, Illinois. They're having a little dogman activity over there.
This story comes out of central Illinois. There was this man named Jack, and Jack said when he was younger, him and his friend were playing out in the woods. And he said they came across this pond in the middle of the forest. And he said when they got to the shoreline, they looked out and there was like a little island in the middle of the pond with a couple trees. Now, Jack noticed his friend started getting like really nervous. And he said his friend was like, look, we got to go. We got to get out of here. And he's like, why? What's wrong? And he's like, come on, we got to leave. So his friend, took off and just started heading back into town. So he follows his friend and they go all the way back to his house. He goes inside and his friend tells his dad, like, hey, Dad, I found that place you were talking about with the pond and the island in the middle. And his dad was like, what? Are you guys okay? Like, is everything all right? And Jack's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And his dad's like, nothing. Just don't ever go back to that place. Don't ever go there. And he said, like, his dad would never talk about, like, why they shouldn't go there. So later on in life, Jack said he was about 25. And at this time, he was living in his car. And he said, he would park at places around town, but he kept getting told to leave. So he remembered that spot out in the woods, that there was this little dirt road that would take you, far out into the woods, right by where this pond was. And he said, you know what, I bet I could park there, I could sleep there, and no one would disturb me. So he drives his car out to this spot. It's about 9, 10 o'clock at night. He said he rolled down his window and he started smoking a cigarette. Well, he said all of a sudden, like a breeze of wind started to pick up, and he caught wind of this very bad smell. And he said it just smelled like, kind of like rotten eggs. And he said when the breeze would stop, the smell would stop. But as the breeze picked up, it would come back again. And he said after a while, he started hearing what he thought at the time were sounds of coyotes. And he said he just kept hearing like this howling sound. Well, he didn't think much of it, and he starts getting tired. So he gets in the back of his car, and he puts a pillow down, puts a blanket over him, and he falls asleep. Well, he said, it was a really nice night, so he had the windows partly rolled down, letting the breeze in. And he said he just remembers waking up to this weird feeling on his ankle. And he said when he looked down, there was a hand that was covered in hair grabbing his leg. And he said when he looked up out the window, he could see the face of a wolf, but like a body of a hairy man. And he said there were 2 bright yellow eyes just staring at him. He said this thing grabbed his ankle and started trying to pull him out of the back of the car. He's screaming and yelling, trying to fight this thing and kicking as hard as he can. Finally, this thing lets up. He gets up to the front of the car and he starts the engine and he starts taking off. Well, he said this thing still had its arm in the window and he starts dragging it along the road with him, and it's trying to actually get inside the car. And then he said finally it just kind of broke off and it like rolled and then took off into the woods. And he said he, was like terrified. He's speeding down this dirt road, and he said all of a sudden he noticed standing on the side of the road up ahead, there was this woman with like long black hair. And he said she was just standing there staring at him driving by. And he said she was covered in some kind of white paint with these black markings all over her. And he said he just like something about her just felt very, very off. But he kept driving, and she just stared at him as he drove past. So he said, he got back into town and stuff, and he was pretty freaked out. He calls up his old friend that he had the experience with when he was younger, and he says, hey, you know that spot with the pond and the island out there? Like, why did you get so freaked out? And he goes, well, my dad said that there used to be like the satanic cult that lived there, and they would do all this, black magic ritual type stuff. And he said like strange stuff would happen in that area, and people would disappear all the time. And he said when my dad was younger, he seen what he still swears to the day was a half man, half wolf creature in those woods.
That was a pretty wild story from my home state of Illinois. I don't know if they were what part of central Illinois they were referring to. My folks live up there by Decatur area, where it's flat, bunch of flatlanders up there. It's pretty wild. Yeah, let's see. This here takes place in Venezuela. Anyway, this is some skinwalkers. This could be, some AI stuff, just something like that. And anyway, without further ado, let's check out this Venezuela skinwalkers. Come on.
On January 3rd, 2026 at 2:12 a.m., strange footage was discovered deep inside El Avila National Park, Venezuela.
It would look like he crashed and burned. Let's roll that one again. Like, who's running around with this night vision looking for these things? I'm thinking it's all set up.
On January 3rd, 2026 at 2:12 a.m., strange footage was discovered deep inside El Avila National Park, Venezuela.
Pretty wild looking. When they first started running, they were all kind of like running in unison, like they're almost like somebody cut and paste, edited and copied the same AI image. This one here is supposed to be a clear photo of a dog man, keeping with our cryptid theme going on here. Dog man, come on.
If authentic, this could be one of the clearest dogman images ever captured. Let's take a look at a mysterious yet remarkably clear photo of one of today's most popular cryptids, the Dogman. The image, likely captured by a high-mounted trail camera, shows the creature running through a forest clearing. Analyzing the creature, its fur is jet black, and its back muscles and skin are visible beneath, making it clear this isn't a costume. The face alone reinforces that. It has a genuine dog-like structure, with an elongated snout, sharp teeth, dark eyes, and pointed ears. Some slight motion blur indicates the creature was in motion when the photo was taken. If authentic, this could be one of the clearest dogman images ever captured. Skeptics argue it might be edited or AI generated because of the high clarity, but believers remain unconvinced. Whether real or not, countless people maintain that the Dogman exists.
I'm thinking that could just be a dog, basic, black wolf dog, but the arms, the legs and front arms don't look like a dog. It looks more, humanoid type. I don't know. That's a dog man. I don't know that they're an actual creature from nature. I think it could be something that we've created in a laboratory, messing around with DNA and stuff, and it may have escaped on us. You know what I mean? Here we go. This is another dog man, and this dog man, he was just kind of chilling and standing in the road. Come on. pretty good AI, if that is AI. Seen the dust coming off his feet and everything. I couldn't really tell from the lighting if it was, it looked like it was AI to me. Just, I don't know, or a guy in a suit. Moving on with the cryptids. Call this one a skinwalker, wendigo, whatever you want to call it. But this dog, he's protecting the chickens, man. This dog has a throwdown right there in the chicken house with this thing. It's pretty crazy. That thing was wild looking. Man, I don't know what the heck that thing was. I mean, it looked like a legit dog attacking something in a chicken house, I think we need to roll that one more time. Thought I heard something over there. All right, let's see. I'm gonna call this one Big Fella.
Couple things about this video that make me think this video is real. Number one, you can see his reflection on the hood of the car. And another thing, look how massive this Bigfoot is. Like, this definitely ain't nobody in no suit. A lot of people that's witnessed Bigfoot describes how big and massive he is.
Thing was pretty big and hairy. I don't know, maybe we want to roll that again. Let's see the big fella again. He was picking up reflection on the hood there, but I think it was awful big.
Couple things about this video that make me think this video is real. Number one, you can see his reflection on the hood of the car. And another thing, look how massive this Bigfoot is. Like, this definitely ain't nobody in no suit. A lot of people that's witnessed Bigfoot describes how big and massive he is.
It almost looked to me like the woods behind him was like a screen. Like that could have been a projected image. I'm not convinced. I'm thinking that still could be a fake. Here we go. We're going to call this one just a Bigfoot out chilling in the woods. He not in no hurry, just kind of chilling.
No one is ever going to believe this is real.
It was pretty big. I'm thinking maybe a guy in a costume, but I don't know. Let's roll that one again, one more time. See what you guys think. Because I do see shadows on the ground. It does look like he's disturbing the leaf litter on the ground. So it could be. It's definitely something walking, but I think it could be a guy in a costume. Let's see.
No one is ever going to believe this is real.
Thing is, he stopped filming, or he cut the clip. If I was that chill and that thing was that chill, we're both that chill, I think I'd have kept filming until my batteries ran dead or something. I probably would have had to clean my shorts out, but I'd been getting more footage. It wasn't shaky or blurry either, so I don't know, that could be completely fake. That guy was way too calm. He was like, "There's just Bigfoot just chilling. Nobody's gonna believe me." He's right. Nobody's going to believe you. Here we go. Y'all ready for some more aliens? Here we go.
Stay back.
That guy was way too calm. I don't know anybody would just stand there and let those guys come hobbling up there like that. I tend to think you'd be hauling ass. All right, this here's more. I think this is more of a legit Bigfoot video.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a while. I got quite a ways, and it does look like there appears to be some kind of writing on it. So, yeah. I'm going to keep digging here, and then, the hell was that? Holy shit. It was right there. Right there. That's insane. I didn't bring my gun with me. I think I'm going to back out of here, guys. For now.
Wouldn't mind checking out that full video. Just guy out digging something, and then all of a sudden he gets started, looks up, and it's there. And the way he grabbed the camera real fast, either it was all set up, or he legit got freaked out and saw something. Then he mentioned he didn't have his gun with him and stuff. So that'd be one of the first things to go through your mind if you encounter something like that. I left my protection back at the house. Not good. But it's kind of blurry and shaky, so that makes it more believable. And I've heard of this next creature a few times. It's up in Loveland, Ohio. They've talked about it a few times. They call it the Frog Man or whatever. But I have heard about this thing a few times, and usually when you'll see pictures of it or images of it, it looks like a humanoid creature with a frog head on it. So if you're a frog lover, and no, it's not the fighting frog man like they have back in Vietnam. They call them Navy SEALs now, but back in the day, our underwater demo guys and guys that would scuba and show up and do the fighting, do the secret missions, they were the fighting frog men. Now they're known as Navy SEALs. Some badasses. And hats off to those guys. Big respect to those guys that go and do those missions to keep everybody free. But here we go. Here's the Frogman cryptid.
March 3rd, 1972, 1 a.m., Loveland, Ohio. Police officer Ray Shields is patrolling Riverside Drive when he spots what he thinks is a dead dog on the ice-covered road. As he approaches, the creature stands up on two legs. It's 4 feet tall, leathery skinned, with a face like a frog and a mouth stretched into a wide, lipless grin. Shields watches in disbelief as it climbs over the guardrail and disappears into the Little Miami River. 2 weeks later, Officer Mark Matthews sees the exact same thing. He even draws his service weapon before the frogman slips into the water. This isn't just a campfire story. It's on the police blotter. Did these officers encounter a biological anomaly, or was it a misplaced exotic pet? Loveland has been looking for the receipts in the river ever since. In recent news, local authorities are baffled by the recurring sightings of the so-called Loveland Frogman. You think they'll ever catch that thing? Catch it. What if it doesn't want to be caught? Or what if it's not alone? While unusual, there's no concrete evidence yet. Mother Nature has her mysteries, but this could very well be a hoax. As the search continues in Loveland, the line between myth and reality blurs ever further.
I'm not sure what the medieval connotation is there. They all the guys in their armor and swords and everything. I think I'd have had a little more belief in it if it was they showed actual officers interviewed, or they're cops with their guns. They're showing. I know it's all illustration, but I have heard of the Loveland Frogman a few times. My dad was in the Navy back in the 70s, and he was on submarines, and they would go over there off the coast of Vietnam, that area, and he said they called them the Fighting Frogmen. And he said of a night they would come up, and those guys would they had these little rubber boats, and they would paddle in and all under the cover of darkness, do their secret missions, and they'd come back. And then he said sometimes they would go out through like on a submarine, you got these torpedoes, were basically a little, like an underwater little miniature submarine with like explosives on it, and had its own little propulsion system, like a little trolling motor on the back. Basically, they open up the little doors and they put it in a tube, and it would they pressurize it and everything. They'd open up the outer doors, and they would launch them out of this tube with like air pressure, and once it got away from the ship, it would have its own propulsion, and then it would go and they try to sink a ship with it or whatever. And he said sometimes the Fighting Frogmen, they would put them in the tube where they would normally launch a torpedo, and then they would like slow pressurize it, slowly fill it up with water, and open the door, and the frogman would swim out underwater, do his thing, come back. I guess they'd bang on the ship with a hammer. I don't know if they had underwater radios back then. They got them now, but I don't know if they bang on the ship, say, "Hey, open the door, man, let me in," kind of thing. It's kind of interesting how the Fighting Frogman evolved into the Navy SEAL, and now they've got this cryptid, the Frogman, they've been seeing for years. So pretty wild. We already looked at the Venezuelan skinwalkers. This guy has some weird stuff going on. I don't know if it's a cryptid or another creature, but there's some shenanigans going on out in these woods.
Well, 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 look what we have here. There's my walnuts. There's deerly seashells. And here is one of my hatchets that I didn't even know was missing. It's my kid's Frisbee. Now, I'm sure that was in the yard. We try to pick up after ourselves, but my kid's always leaving balls and Frisbees and whatever we've been playing with out there. That was close. That was like right here.
Soon after, Kevin notices his flashlight has turned on inside his backpack by itself, suggesting something approached him unnoticed. Before leaving, he discovers a hidden pile of walnuts, tools, and personal items. His items, gathered together like a private cache. Almost immediately, a loud noise erupts nearby. Kevin runs. Some viewers believe the dizziness may be caused by infrasound, often reported in close Bigfoot encounters. Others see the missing cameras and gathered items as signs of territorial intelligence, an entity capable of warning without being seen. If the forest didn't want Kevin there, why show him everything, only to tell him to leave?
Old dog come back again. Coming to visit again, are you? I'm okay with that. If he's in here, at least he's outside barking in the middle of my podcast. The guy seemed kind of like, "Hey, man, I didn't know my hatchet was missing. There's the kid's Frisbee, and there's my bag of walnuts." But he could have just put all that stuff there, and staged it, and been like, "Look, Bigfoot stole my stuff," and he put it all on the Frisbee like a little dinner plate. I don't know about all that. I think his kids are messing with him is what I think. They stole his walnuts and took them out there. Let's mess with Dad. Okay, according to this guy, there's literally 69 different types of aliens. So, trying to think what scientist this is. Could be Bob Lazar. I'm not sure. I can't tell from the from the thumbnail, but we'll pull it up here. We'll see 69 different types of aliens. That's a lot. I've heard of the Greys, the Anunnakis, the Nordics. I'd really like to meet some Nordics. And then you got your reptilians. That's our team member Leslie. That's her favorite, the reptilians. So here we go. Let's check this guy out.
Well, you said there's 69 different types of extraterrestrials.
Well,
that
that
you're
they
aware
knew
of.
of in 1960s. There may be many more now.
Okay, and are these aliens from different planets, or?
Yes, I'm quite sure they would be from different star systems because of the diversity of the biological form and size. I mean, some are 1.5 feet tall. Some reported to be 10, 12 feet tall. To my knowledge, they're all bipedal, 2 arms, 2 legs, had sort of that form, but then a huge amount of variation within that form. And this would explain why some of those craft are very, very tiny and some very large. I mean, if you're a 2 foot, 3 foot tall being, a 25, 30-foot diameter egg-shaped craft is kind of spacious, right? It's like us being in something 60 feet, proportionally.
What are the size differences? I mean, are there like insect-sized aliens and giant, I don't know, like whale-sized aliens? I mean, what's the range? Because it could technically be anything, right? I mean, because
yes.
Like in our case, you talked about this in some of your interviews. Humans evolved from monkeys, right? And monkeys are warlike. Yeah. They kill each other. Right. They
organizing the troops
and so forth. But if you had a species that evolved from, let's say, dolphins or something like that aren't warlike,
right?
This might be an alien species that don't each other, and they don't understand why humans are each other all the time.
Right. They don't. They understand it. They just think that it's a shame we haven't evolved past it.
Right. So, in terms of the alien species that you're familiar with, what's the range? Are they all like little gray men, or are they just completely different?
Oh, no. They're totally different. And most of the ones that you see on the spooky covers of books, and at least those are ours. Those are our robotic fake aliens. Those are the CIA drones and robotic objects. And the really sophisticated ones are actually bio-nano machines, where they have biological material, and that's what they were using, the culture material from the cattle and animal mutilations was being used to make those very sophisticated fake aliens. And there's a physicist that I know who worked on those programs. And it really sounds like Mingala or Stranger Things or something. But the strangest things are true, my friend. And so, in terms of my personal knowledge, I have heard of ones 1.5 feet or so tall, to ones that range the upper end 30 to 40 feet tall.
30 or 40 feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's, pretty rare. And, depending on the planet and the gravitational and everything else. I mean, look, there are humans that have been 8 feet tall, and there are humans that have been 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I think about the cosmos and how vast. I mean, it would make sense there'd be enormous diversity.
Pretty wild. I just noticed our little girl on the end there, and her nice little plaid outfit. Her cat ball just went off. That's pretty wild. Can you do that again? I don't know your name, or I would have tried to address you properly. I might just have to call you a little Scottish redheaded girl, and her little buddy there. Elvin and Kelvin? No. Patty and Maddie? I don't know. Usually if you're born on St. Paddy's Day, they call you Patty. From Ireland or Scotland, I'm not sure. The plaid, I'm thinking, is more Scotland, and if they wear a green, it'd probably be more Ireland. But I'm not sure. If somebody's Irish or Scottish, please educate me. I just know I like the green beer and the corned beef and cabbage. Okay, 69 different types of aliens. That's pretty wild. And he's saying some of them are made by man. They're fake robotic drones and whatnot. That's pretty wild. Let's see. This lady is driving along, and she sees a UFO. and she seems pretty terrified.
In this video, a woman's driving down a dark highway filming herself sing. She encounters a triangular-shaped UFO in the sky and immediately starts crying. Then she sends these voice messages to her husband describing what she saw. The video's pretty shaky, but I think she's left even more shooken up. Let's watch.
I'm nervous, Forrest Gump, as my fingertips and my lips, they burn from the cigarettes.
Baby, please answer me, babe. I just saw a spaceship. Babe, I saw a spaceship. Baby, please answer me. I'm scared. I just saw a spaceship. It was a spaceship and I saw it clearly. Babe, please answer me. Babe, I saw it, babe. It had three points, so like a triangle. It was a triangle and it had red lights and it was in the sky. Why don't you ever answer me when I need you the most? What the dude? Babe, I have a video, babe. I was recording myself singing and I got it. I'm gonna send it to you, okay?
That was pretty wild. Definitely triangular shape, 3 red lights. Airplanes, if you think about it, if they have a nose light and 2 wing lights, could be kind of triangular shape, but they usually don't have all 3 red. That's something different I'm not used to seeing. She seemed pretty upset. Let's see. Okay. We talked a little bit about this last week, the whole Miami Mall thing where they had the aliens. They thought they were like 9 foot tall and a portal opened up and there's like 180 cop cars showed up, and still trying to get some good videos of that. But here's another gentleman talking about it. If I get any more information on it, I'll try to bring it up. If anybody's got any videos or evidence, that would be cool.
There's so many things that don't make the news about aliens, man. The Miami aliens.
Yeah, I still trip out on that.
Yeah, so there was a mall in Miami. 183 police cars showed up to the mall. There's people running out saying there's aliens. There's this 8-foot, 10-foot tall, black, dark shadow figure.
Someone mentioned a portal had opened up.
What came out was that it was just a bunch of dudes fighting with sticks.
And then there was rumors of fireworks.
But there was no video from the mall or the cops.
It was a packed mall. No one has a video recording of how does that make sense?
Here's the crazy thing that multiple people said that people from the Navy came out of the portal, got the creatures, pulled them back in. They literally questioned the police in an interview. They're like, we were told that there was a portal that opened and there was Navy officials that came out, and they're like, we cannot divulge further on this information.
I feel like there at some point, the quicker you normalize those type of events, the quicker people will be less freaked out about it.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. That's the first time I'd heard Navy guys coming out dragging aliens back. It's like, our pet aliens escaped. Let's go grab them and take them back. Yeah, I hear something new all the time with that. Looks like one of our viewers, Cindy's saying hi. Hey, Cindy. How you doing, Cindy? And speaking of the Navy, here's a guy talking about one of those Tic Tac shaped UFOs that the Navy's got. This is supposed to be actual footage from the Navy. So let's check this Navy footage out.
All right, pause for a second. You'll be happy you did. Jeremy Corbell just released brand new UAP footage from a U.S. Navy ship, and what you're about to see is actually quite good. This was recorded in February of 2023 aboard the USS Jackson using FLIR thermal imaging radar. And what you're looking at is a tic-tac shaped object. No wings, no exhaust, maneuvering effortlessly over the ocean. But here's where it gets even weirder. This wasn't just one object. The witnesses say that there were multiple crafts, and according to the report, one of them was actually seen exiting the ocean before shooting up into the air. So we're talking about a transmedium object. That means air and water seamlessly. And again, this is coming from military sensors, not some shaky cell phone footage. And there's no official statement at this time. Just another surreal encounter quietly happening in the background while the rest of the world scrolls by. No wings, no heat signature, no explanation. What we're really talking about here is not just UFOs. We're talking about unexplainable technology in our oceans being tracked by our military. So whether this is advanced technology, a misidentified object, or something else entirely, this footage raises serious questions. And
pretty wild, the old tic-tac shaped UFO. Doesn't give off any heat, anything like that. Sticking with the UFO theory. Going to give you a trigger warning on this one. There is a lot of foul language in this video, but when people get scared and excited, sometimes they start cussing a little bit. So there's some swearing in this next video. I just want to warn everybody ahead of time.
What the fuck is that? What the absolute fuck am I looking at right now? What the hell? Holy shit.
Are you okay?
No, dude. What is that, chat?
Let me go to your stream.
What the fuck? Oh my god, I think it's the end. I think it's the end. I've never seen that in my life. Oh my god. What, bro, what the fuck is that shit?
Oh my gosh.
What? I don't know. They're too far apart to be planes. Oh my god. Dude, chat, I think those are aliens. Why are they like that? Like, they would never, no plane would be lined like that, like one higher than the... What the fuck is that? What the absolute fuck am I looking at right now? What the hell? Holy shit.
Are you okay?
No, dude. What is that, chat?
Let me go to your stream.
What the fuck? Oh my god, I think it's the end.
Apologize for the foul language in that, but that's why we always have a warning at the beginning of the program. These are just raw videos I bring in. Yeah, that's a pretty typical reaction if you see something like that. Similarities to the other lady who's driving, saw the triangle shape. Hers had 3 red lights. This one had 3 white lights. Here at Bowling Green a few years ago, a guy sent me a video and he's seen some weird stuff like that, but it wasn't just a triangle. There was like a whole 5 or 6 of them, kind of like in formation. Never did figure out what that was. It's on our, that video I believe is on our Facebook group page. It's also on our YouTube, but if I try to remember, I'll pull it up next week since people are seeing these triangle shaped UFOs and whatnot. I'm thinking it could be an airplane, but it wasn't moving. It was almost like hovering there, I don't know of any triangle shaped dirigibles or blimps, like Goodyear blimps, long and cigar shaped. So and it usually isn't flying of a night either. So it's pretty wild. This next UFO is over the town of Penrose. Kind of interesting little video here.
I'm Boston 25 News reporter Alyssa Azara in Pembroke, where a woman says she was enjoying the pool Wednesday night when she saw a strangely shaped and unfamiliar object falling from the sky just over there. The whole thing now caught on video.
Then I look up here to the sky, I see something falling down, so I pulled out my phone and I zoomed in, and it was right about there.
Colleen McCormick was out by her hot tub around 9 Wednesday night when she says she saw something strange and unfamiliar up above.
I see something falling down from the sky. It had blinking lights and looked like it was on fire or something. and it was just coming down really fast. I had no idea what it could have been.
McCormick captured this 8-second video from her backyard showing an unidentified object headed straight down.
There's like 3 things, so it looks like it's fire or a big light.
Expecting to hear a loud boom of some sort, she ran to the front of her home to hopefully capture the landing.
My heart was pounding because I just looked up. I'm like, oh God, like what is about to happen right now?
But McCormick says the blinking object quickly vanished from her view.
It seemed like it was coming down like so fast. It was just like, it knows what it's doing. It just goes like that. I don't know, it's weird.
With having never seen something like it before, McCormick's mind went racing.
Like I thought it was like some explosive, I don't know, like hopefully I'm not the only one that saw this. I'm not going crazy, like I didn't see things, but I got it on video, so I'm like, I did definitely see something.
Now, the FAA was not able to comment on the video McCormick took, but they said they did not get any reports of debris in the area. Both Pembroke Fire and police said the same thing. On scene in Pembroke, Alyssa Azara for your local station, Boston 25 News.
Pretty wild. I'm not sure what all these people are seeing, but that looked a little bit to me like one of Elon's rockets coming in for landing, but it was upside down, like all the rocket flame, whatever that was on the top. Normally his are on the bottom because it's like, trying to reverse thrust, and it's got little I don't know what you call them, like little ailerons that come out, and that's also like it lands on those. That's the fins, the control fins, and the legs, those ailerons. But then they've got a new one. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like a set of chopsticks, basically. And the rocket will come in, right? The rocket comes in, and then it's like on the tower, and it has these like giant chopsticks. It comes in, and it goes, and it catches it like that, and catches it. And it just grabs it and it don't hit the ground. That's pretty amazing to me that we can do that now with a rocket, like control it, like fly it. It don't have wings or anything. It's all just, thrust. So that's pretty wild. And okay, this one here, they're calling a whole fleet of UFOs.
Good morning, everyone. Last night I set my camera outside my window, and I captured at about 5 a.m., I'm guessing, I captured these objects coming from the top left down to the bottom right, and they're going the wrong direction, guys. As the stars and planets move through our sky, they move from the bottom left to the top right. I counted 25 of these objects, all coming down in sort of a parade. Just one right after the other. This video is sped up about 10 times so that I can fit all this action into just a couple of minutes. This, my friends, is disclosure. This is the real deal. This is not some crazy AI video with a too realistic looking spaceship, shooting out laser beams and abducting people. This is what disclosure really looks like. Keep this in mind when you're thinking about the government possibly disclosing UFOs. That's not going to happen. It's actually really, sadly, naive to think that. It's going to be people like me and you and people around the world capturing things like this. I don't know if anyone could refute this. I don't know how you could debunk this, other than saying that it's a natural phenomenon of some sort. But we know the trajectory of stars and planets in our sky. And we know that at least where I live, in North America, the stars travel from the western part of the sky to the eastern part of the sky. This is traveling either from above to below or from the northeast to the southwest. It's the opposite trajectory these things are supposed to be taking. And here we have 25 of them. And my camera died, or else we would have a lot more. So just watch this to the end and let me know what you think. It's pretty wild stuff. This, again, is disclosure.
Did anybody else have flashbacks from the 80s from the Atari game Missile Command? That's kind of what it reminded me of, those little warheads coming in on Missile Command. My first thought on that was it was the Starlink train. I've seen it once. I got some family, been out camping, seen it a few times. You got a whole, they come through one after the other like that in a train, but a couple of them were really close together, which that's not typical of the Elon's Starlink train that I've seen. I just seen one after the other. That looked pretty similar. But then I watched one when it got down by the ground, went sideways. And was it some light refraction or something like that? Maybe from outer space, maybe they're on a similar trajectory, and we're looking at them from this angle versus this angle, so they look right next to each other, but they may be further apart. My thoughts are Starlink train, what I'm thinking it probably is. Or somebody's figured out how to get the 1980s Missile Command put onto their camera. I don't think that happened. This next one, let's see if this one will play. This one's kind of a conspiracy thing, kind of goes along with some of the theories I have of Skinwalker Ranch. I think that whatever's in that mace, I think could be some kind of time traveling device from our future. Could be some, alien technology combined with human technology. I mean, who's to say in the future we're not working with the aliens? Anyway, this was pretty interesting.
They interfaced with them. They looked the same, although they appeared all to be taller. Every one of them were taller. And most of them lacked hair. So you would fit right in there.
You beat me to the joke.
But he said the computers was all in the humans. The humans' brains and functions almost like a computer. You didn't need a device to look at. The human beings become somewhat augmented. Transhumanism, meaning they incorporated technology with the human being. They didn't actually go on the planet. They stayed in the spaceport. The spacecraft was captured in a net.
A net?
As the net was coming down, apparently Earth realized that this craft was from our past and was able to dock it. Now, what was Earth like 4,000 years in the future? Well, number one, it seems to be defying gravity. Everything was built up in space, up around the sky. Floating cities, floating buildings. The spaceports were floating.
About our future. Hopefully it's a future of peace and some advanced technology, and hopefully our medicine is advanced. I'd like to see in our lifetime that they could do something with cancer, Alzheimer's. I mean, they're already doing a lot of things with diabetes. There's still some cancers that they're just not treatable. That'd be cool. Here's another conspiracy theory. This one's all about the Grand Canyon. I don't know if you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, but it is enormous. And it's a pretty dangerous place too. I mean, if you get in trouble down there, they got to get a helicopter in there to get you out. I mean, it's not like you can just, walk out of there and, drive out. You're down in there, man. It's like I said, you need a helicopter to come and get you out of there if you end up in a bad emergency.
Well, the whole Grand Canyon thing is bananas. Like, there's areas of the Grand Canyon you cannot explore.
You cannot go. You cannot fly over.
Right.
And you can't fly under the rim. Yet when you go to those bad places, suddenly a white plane flies over under the rim, black helicopters show up. I showed it in my episode. I show the black helicopters showing up. Like, they do show.
Yeah. Like, they are protecting something.
Something.
It's not as simple as this is a dangerous area, because you can go to any dangerous area.
You go just to the normal tourist area. It's like, be careful. People fall. 2 people a year fall.
Yeah, someone fell recently.
They did?
Yeah, an influencer. Of course, taking a selfie. But the Grand Canyon, there's been these crazy stories of people finding these these caverns with like Egyptian artwork and hieroglyphics and these stories of artifacts that have been removed from there.
So the story is, it shows up, I believe, in like the Phoenix Gazette. It's 1903 or so. And the explorer is G.E. Kincaid, and he's going down. He's looking for gold deposits or whatever. This is just before Teddy Roosevelt made the Grand Canyon a preserve. He was a naturalist, so he finds these steps that are clearly man-made. He follows the steps up, and there's a cave, and he goes in there, and he describes hieroglyphics that look Egyptian but are not quite. He finds a statue that he describes as like Buddha-like, not Egyptian, not human, but sort of like Buddha, and all these weapons, shields, gold, all sorts of stuff. He keeps going. He finds a deserted city in the caves, and all these tunnels and caverns go everywhere, and he's trying to map everything. He comes out, and he goes back to town, and he gathers together a group that we're gonna go find this stuff again, and people are excited about it. And a couple of weeks go by, and everyone's gathered to go on the expedition. He never shows. The expedition goes nowhere, and that's really the last we've heard of it.
Really? And is there any photographs or anything? No.
There never is of this stuff.
Right. Just descriptions?
Just a great story.
Well, the great part of the story is the fact that you actually can't go there. And the idea that there's an area where the military is protecting people from being foolish, that doesn't make any sense.
Nobody asks why.
Right.
Like, nobody asks why. It really bothers me about that story and all of these, whether it's disclosure or whatever. I don't hear anyone asking why. Well, they won't let us. Well, who's they?
Right.
Someone's in charge of stuff that's not the president,
right,
or Congress. So who is it? So
is it possible there's some sort of a government installation down there somewhere?
It's all going to be woo-woo conspiracy stuff, or it's real, or G.E. Kincaid found something and someone got to him.
But if G.E. Kincaid found something, why would they want to hide some ancient civilization discovery, particularly in the early 1900s? Like, why? For what reason?
I don't know why Graham Hancock is marginalized now.
Right, but that wouldn't you think that there's like less of a grip on that stuff in the 1900s, the
Yes.
early 1900s?
I would think so.
Yeah.
So my guess would be treasure and money. That would be my guess. Is it shows up in the paper, the government goes down there like, there's a lot of stuff down here. Let's grab it. Send it to the Smithsonian, who keeps 99% of the stuff under wraps. They have, a billion items that nobody can see. And then that's the end of it.
Yeah, but what the fuck? Which I would love to know the official reason. See if you can Google. Is there an official reason why you're not allowed to go to certain areas of the Grand Canyon?
They use a VPN there, brother.
The story, I was looking at an article about the original article, and it says that the two guys mentioned might not have even existed.
Right.
There's no evidence of them.
G.E. Kincaid?
And another guy named S.A. Jordan.
Oh, so it might be just a story that someone printed? Some horseshit?
Yeah, when I was looking into one of these things before, I found something explaining that back in the early 1900s, when newspapers were a really popular thing to read, I don't know if it was like a game or if there was actual prizes people would play or like amongst themselves to try to get fake stories printed. If you could get the craziest story printed, you win like $500 or.
I might be wrong, but I think Jordan was connected to the Smithsonian, at least according to the story.
I pulled this from the Smithsonian Debunk, which, I mean, obviously they would if this is the way we're going to go with it, but them debunking this, and they gave two links, one to the original 1909 article and one to a 2008 update, and that's where I was pulling that from.
I don't trust the Smithsonian. They're exempt from all kinds of stuff.
Yeah?
Well, like there's a law passed not too long ago that if you have Native American artifacts that are important to that culture, especially burial artifacts, they must be returned. Unless you're the Smithsonian, then
they're allowed to hold on to
then you can make a case that you don't have to give it back.
How do they have so much power?
It's a government agency.
Smithsonian is a government. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought it was a private agency. So there's no official story as to why this area of the Grand Canyon is off limits.
For your safety.
The forbidden zone, they call it.
Yeah, that's all I can find.
That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. That this story comes from the very area that's forbidden. That's fucking weird.
I think.
What are the odds?
I don't believe in coincidences, so. A lot of these stories come from places you just can't go.
Has anybody tried to hike in?
All the time.
Wear
or
camo?
Raft in.
Yeah, did they get busted?
And busted, yeah, and arrested.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You could find online. I wish I knew the names of a team that went up there. That's who found the black helicopters, and I used them in the video. And and I credit them, so you can find their videos. They're up there for an hour, hour and a half, trying to find stuff. And what they found up in that forbidden zone is anchored into the ground a giant hook,
Right.
or like a loop.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
saw
would
that.
you use that for? And that would be to rappel down. That's the only reason that would be there. There's no explanation for what is this. They also found artifacts from that era, from the early 1900s, artifacts that people were there. So it's possible that they rappelled that, like they might have been standing right above that entrance. And there are reverse angles of that rock face that look a little weird. It could be pareidolia, but it.
What's pareidolia?
Pareidolia is the mind's ability to see objects in random noise. You know, it's something we evolved to, to see predators in the forest. That's why if you see a cloud that looks like an Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
it's not Abraham Lincoln. It's pareidolia. But debunkers will always fall on pareidolia. So like the real believers, they hate that word.
God, that would be. Imagine everything would have to be rewritten. If they found some evidence of a lost civilization with no connection to any known civilization that was advanced, that was living in the Grand Canyon.
Did you ever think about going
To the Grand Canyon?
to go and just be an outlaw and go see?
How would you get in, though? I mean, if they have black helicopters and they're scanning the sky or scanning the ground with some sort of a drone or a plane.
We go in, we live.
Are you planning something?
No. Hold on.
What
no.
should we do?
I don't have.
I'm in.
I don't have a contract. All right. So this is. It's already dangerous for me sitting here, but I got your back.
Wow, pretty crazy. I have heard other stories and finding all kind of weird, like Egyptian type stuff down the Grand Canyon. I do know there's a couple places where they would probably restrict airplanes or helicopters from flying down below the rim because there's a couple places where there's cables going across. One particular spot, it's about halfway down the upper part of the Colorado River going through the Grand Canyon. There's a cable, and they have like a trolley that goes across to a cave. And they were going in there mining bat guano. There's a lot of bats down in the Grand Canyon. And when you're down there overnight, as soon as it gets dark, they start coming out everywhere and eating. I'm glad they're there because they're eating bugs, probably mosquitoes, whatnot. But this bat guano operation, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the bat guano, is the manure for the bats, and it's super high in ammonia. Like, you have to wear respirators when you go in there to mine this stuff because it's so high in ammonia. You can get asphyxiated. People can die from that stuff. So, but the bats are immune to it with their nasal system and everything. But bat guano is like the most rich fertilizer you can get, but it's also used in like gunpowder, making explosives and stuff. So they had a trolley car. They were going across to this cave, getting the bat guano. And they had a couple of accidents where, luckily, they're near misses, but where military jets had been flying through there and they got down too low. And I believe the way it was explained to me was we went on a rafting trip. They said it was like a Navy jet and its tail hook, like they would use to land on the carrier. Because when the jet comes in on a aircraft carrier in the ocean, there's cables go across, and they have a hook that hangs off the tail, and they have to catch that hook. That's why when they land, they're at full throttle, because if they miss the hook, they got to be at full throttle so they can take back off real quick. Otherwise, they'll fall off the end of the boat, and they got to eject or drown, or it's a bad day. So they believe that one of those jets caught the tail hook, caught the cable. I believe the cable's been broke twice. And when I went through, they had halted the bat guano mining because of there was a whole hive of those Africanized killer bees in there. Went in there in that cave, so you got bees, bats, and a lot of bat poop. And the cable's the only way to get in and out unless you rappel down, like what Joe was talking about there. They had, you could rappel down if you had something to tie off on, but just too risky with the bees in there. I don't know if they ever went in and took care of the bees, if the cable's still there or not. we did go to a couple places where you could, park the raft and get up and saw some hieroglyphics, like where the indigenous people had painted stuff, carved on the rocks, and there were some like waterfalls and stuff you could climb up. It was really cool. It was a really cool trip. If you ever get a chance to go, I mean, you could look over the side of the Grand Canyon, but until you've taken a helicopter down in there and then stay down there for a couple days and nights riding the rapids and the boats, I highly recommend it. If you ever get, to me, it's, I wouldn't mind doing it again sometime, but it was like a once in a lifetime adventure. But it is a vast place. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but I think it's about time for a little more cowbell. You can always use a little more cowbell. One of our devices, we have the cowbell and the more cowbell. We're just hoping something will ring. And then this week, shout out to Brownsville Auction. I picked up a monster. I got a big cowbell. I can't wait to try to incorporate that thing into some kind of paranormal device. It's going to be pretty cool. There's something I like to do. Been doing the last couple weeks is messing with people's minds. So I've got a couple little mind teasers here for you. It's a little optical illusion action going on. So check this out.
Optical illusion will blow your mind. Your eyes are going to see this black and white photo in complete, vivid color. One of the coolest optical illusion we'll ever see. All you have to do is stare at the center dot for just a few minutes. After a few seconds, we will change it back to black and white, but your brain will see it in complete vivid color. But it will eventually fade back to black and white while your brain complete hallucinating. Coolest thing ever. Here we go. This optical illusion will blow your mind. Your eyes are going to see this black and white photo in complete vivid color. One of the coolest optical illusion.
That was pretty cool. All the videos I put up every week, they are on our YouTube channel. You can always pull those up. If you want to watch them again, watch them over and over, try to debunk them. You want to call in, send some comments in like, hey, I think that was fake. I think that was real. That was my cousin, whatever. We welcome your correspondence. Okay, here's another one. This comes at us from Lori from Shark Tank. Big fan of Shark Tank. Here we go.
Try this out. Stare at the black dot in the center of the rainbow. Keep looking at it. Count for 15 seconds. Then look up at the ceiling. Stare at the ceiling and blink. Once you blink, you're going to see something really cool. If you like what it is, send it to a friend.
Wow. I might have to do that again. So it almost looked like a jukebox or something. That was pretty wild. I have to try that again. I got another one. And this one is a picture of a man. Or is it a picture of a woman? Or is it a picture of a man? Here we go. Is that like Chef Boyardee meets Mona Lisa? All right, one more time. Eyeball, it turns into her mouth. That's pretty wild. All right, I got one more. This one, this is a one of those kind of like an Ishii Escher type picture. If you've ever seen any of his artwork, it's hard to tell. Is the kitty cat going upstairs or is the kitty cat going downstairs? Here we go.
This is going to blow your mind. When you look at this picture, what do you see? Is the cat going upstairs or is the cat going downstairs? See below for the answer. This is going to tell you a lot about your personality.
Were you an optimist or were you a pessimist? I don't know. Well, that's about all I got for the supernatural news videos this week. I do have our new little friends over here. Did get a little cat ball action earlier. You guys got anything to say? You guys want to make those balls go off again? That was pretty cool. I've got a confession to make. I have nothing to do with them cat balls going off. But if you guys have been paying attention, I got a new doll. And here's what happens when you have electronics anywhere near a K2 meter. Here we go. And she moves. I don't know if anybody noticed that during the show, but I just think she's awesome. First doll I've ever encountered that actually moves. And I'm going to have fun with this thing at Halloween. But see, I'll turn this off. Now watch the K2 go off. These K2 meters pick up on anything like EMF, electronics. All right. 3, 2, 1. K2's going to go on. 3, 2, 1. Going to shut it off. So, anyway, she's got a cable. But the cat balls, I had nothing to do with that. I did notice when I blew the Aztec death whistle, they went off. So we're going to try the Aztec death whistle one more time, see if we can get any kind of action. I don't know if it was just the noise, vibration, whatever, but we're going to blow her one more time just for good measure. Coming at you, first time ever, second time tonight, Aztec death whistle live. I guess they only liked it once. You guys got anything to say? I like your plaid. I like your plaid outfits. I guess I do have something to say. Are you guys Irish? You guys come from the Blarney Stone? I got nothing. We've been trying, I think I've got 20, 30 dolls we've tried in here, and tonight's the first night we've had action. I guess they did like that death whistle. But you think if it was a death whistle, it would go off while it was blowing the death whistle. They kind of went off afterwards, so I don't know. You guys are cool. Got anything you want to say? Maybe we'll play this back later and see if we got any EVPs. And if anybody at home noticed anything besides this one here, all right, I'm going to make her go off, and the K2 will go off. There you go. And she moves. I thought that was pretty sweet. But I had to tell you, if I mess with you, I'm going to tell you. I'm messing with. Wait a minute. I'm not doing that. Maybe I bumped it. I could have bumped it. I don't know. Can you make it stop? Can you turn the ball? Okay. All right. Can you make that ball go off again? Everybody at home would like to see you. You got fans now. Did you know that? You guys are famous. You can make that cat ball go off again right now. That would be pretty awesome. I did have the other doll turned on. She might have moved. She might have vibrated it and made it go off. Can you do it one more time for the folks back home? All right. One more time with the death whistle. They like the death whistle. I'm going to have to experiment some more with the death whistle and cat balls. Maybe I found an actual loophole. I've never been able to set a cat ball off other than smack them one. All right, I'm actually going to smack them and see what happens with the cat balls. Got to hit them pretty hard. Get them to go off. But I don't know. It seemed like the death whistle. They like the death whistle, or they're annoyed by the death whistle. Hey, if you really, really like that death whistle, can you make that ball go off again? Or if you don't like the death whistle and you never want me to blow it again in here, can you make it go off? Just twitch your leg a little bit there. Blarney. Are you Blarney or Barney? I don't know, everybody. It's been interesting tonight. Like I said, I got this doll that moves just to mess with y'all, but the other one, I have no idea why the cat balls are going off. We may have to do some more experimenting with those guys. I just picked them up. Like I said, shout out to Justin and Jessica up there at and Lila and everybody up at the Brownsville auction house. I picked these little guys up last week at the auction, and pretty awesome. And I told them I'd let them know if I ever got any action. Tonight we got a little bit of action. I can't explain it. I don't know if something else was causing them to go off, but unless it's these dolls. So I don't know. Now I'm kind of intrigued. We're going to have to do some more experimenting with these dolls. But anyway, that's all I got for this week. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And, we got a comment. What do we got here? Cindy, I saw a woman once, then man whole time. I saw a woman once, then a man the whole time. Okay, maybe she saw an apparition. And she says the cat's going upstairs. So she's a pessimist. Thanks for comments there, Cindy. Appreciate it. But I think that's about all I got this week. So y'all have a good one. And y'all tune in again next week. Come on.